My name is Drew. I play guitar in the band Felicity. We're here in beautiful Chicago, Illinois at Cobra Lounge for our first show ever in Chicago. We flew here, so my rig's a little bit light of what I would normally bring on tour, but I'm going to show you what I got anyways. This is my pride and joy workhorse guitar. It is a Bernie guitar, and for those of you who don't know, most people think of Les Pauls, they think of Gibson Les Pauls, but this is a company from Japan that was making knockoff Gibson guitars in the 70s and 80s until they got sued by Gibson, and Gibson absorbed everything and they stopped making them. So this is one of the Bernie Les Pauls, which is pretty cool because it just has the kind of different headstock and stuff you might recognize from Gibson, but really everything else on it feels like a Gibson Les Paul. I put our band on the back for We Are Felicity show off whenever I can play, and I can flip it over and try to get a couple followers out of it. But this guitar is really my workhorse. I had it for probably about, probably going on 5 to 10 years now, somewhere in between 5 to 10 years. But I got this one specifically because it was a Randy Rhoads, who's one of my favorite guitar players. He played guitar player for Ozzy Osbourne and Quiet Riot. But his custom guitar, and I've actually modded it pretty significantly. I have a Evertune bridge, which is one of the probably coolest technologies for guitarists could have now, is these Evertune bridges. My guitar never goes out of tune. I can play a show, put it back in, and the next day I can put it out and everything stays perfectly in tune. I also only have one pickup in here, which is an EMG 57 pickup, which kind of sounds like a vintage Gibson pickup, but it has the active capability, so it's got a little bit more power behind it. And other than that, I just have it wired with one volume knob that's pretty much on all the time, and all of these knobs, I just gutted it out, all of the wiring and knobs and pots, and I just put these caps from, there's like push pin caps I got from like Lowe's or Home Depot or something, to just so there's not holes there. And there was one here too for the pickup selector, but it just fell off. So that's just a little hole there, but this is really just one pickup on and off. And so that's why I call it like my workhorse, because it's never let me down. I've never had problems with it, and it's like extremely reliable. It sounds great, and it's, I think, from 1991, so early 90s, late 80s, before, you know, Bernie got shut down by Gibson. But yeah, that's the guitar. Super fun to play. The guitar is in basically like a drop D, but a half step down tuning. So it's like a E flat standard, half step down on all the strings, and then the D string is dropped. And most of our songs are in like a drop D bass tuning. We have a couple that are in like standard tuning, but everything's basically drop D, so it's tuned to half step down. This is my custom picks I have. They are, I believe, 1 millimeter in width there, but they say Felicity on one side, and I got Slimer from Ghostbusters. I'm a big Ghostbusters guy, so I got my Slimer tattoo. And then on the other side, I have Stone Cold Dr. Phil. I'm a big wrestling and Dr. Phil fan. To match my Stone Cold tattoo, I have. And got my Instagram on one side and Felicity's on the other, so just if I throw it out in the crowd, people are like, what band's pick was this? They'll know where it came from. And I have a whole bunch of these, so if you come to a show, I'll try to throw one at you when we go there. So right here I have my signature drop pedal, and I have Drew's Moves. That's at Drew's Moves. That's my Instagram and handles for everything. But this is basically just so we all have drop pedals, I can tell which one's mine. So this is the Drew's Moves pedal, and basically this is so that we can change tunings without having to bring multiple guitars. We have probably 3 to 5 different tunings depending on how long of a set we play, and like, you know, maybe Sunday we could have a cool guitar tech and they bring us out a different guitar for every tuning, but it just makes it so much easier where basically I can just turn a knob to change the tunings, and we do use this kind of like octave mode that kind of does an octave of it to make it cool. Kind of sounds like 96 Quite Bitter Beings by CKY kind of tone, which is fun. So we use that kind of just for effect. Other than that, it's really just to change tuning, so I can do the entire set with one guitar. Yeah, and then I use these skinny top, beefy bottom springs, mainly My low string is the 54 and the high string is a 10 from Ernie Ball. And so yeah, I might rotate what brand, but basically if it's like 54 to 11 or 54 to 10 guitar strings is mainly what I use. But I've been using these Ernie Ball ones so far. They haven't let me down. They've been really good. Yeah. And this is our Kemper. We switched from like real amps to Kemper probably about 5 years ago, and the reason we did that is because we love all two boutique amps. I would love to have like, you know, be able to bring a Marshall JCM 800 or maybe Mesa Boogie or something, but it's really, those things are really heavy. They take up a lot of space, and if they're really expensive and if it got stolen or something, these boutique amps, we would just be like heartbroken. And a lot of these shows we've been flying for LA to shows, or like today we flew to Chicago show, and so we're able to just do everything we need our entire guitar amp just in this pedal board version of the Kemper. We had the actual like racked ones, and just last year we switched to these pedal board ones once we made these available. The only thing we would need is if we ever wanted to put it through a guitar cab, we would need a power amp. So we have these power amp pedals we use as well, but that's only if we're using actual cabs. And for this show, we're actually, you know, stripping it down. So everything's just DI straight through the Kemper. And really with the Kemper, I have a few different settings. Most of the profiles are based around a Marshall JVM and a PV 5150 are the main like amps I use in it. And I have basically I have a clean tone, sounds kind of like that. I have a clean tone, and then like a heavy tone, and then like one for basically leads. Corey's is a lot more complicated. Mine's pretty simple as far as the profiles go. On the Kemper, I'm modeling a JVM, Marshall JVM with I think a Marshall JCM 800 cab and a PV 5150 head with the same cab pretty much. I think I use for all of them. With most of them, the only really effects I'm using are compressor to kind of just control dynamics, some reverb and delay on some of the lead, high gain like lead tones to kind of get it really creamy. And then on our new song, we have a new song called Lovesick Blues that we use clean with like chorus effect. And so there's that one time in that one song, we gotta have a big bright clean, and that clean tone is modeling a orange rocker verb head, and then we use like chorus effects on that one. And other than that, I really don't use like any type of distortion pedals or anything in the Kemper because all the amp clones have plenty of distortion and everything we have dialed in, and we have so many profiles in there. I could spend days just going through the different amps that are in there, so I kind of have it set to something that works, and I kind of try not to mess with it too much because I could be spending days just playing around with it if I let myself. And that is basically the rig I'm using for this show, and most of what I use on tour, maybe a couple more things on tour, but that's basically what we're using for this show. We are playing for the first time ever our new single tonight, Lovesick Blues, which you can go stream anywhere you stream music, and you can follow us at We Are Felicity on any social medias. And other than that, we hope to come to a city near you very, very soon.